What got me into wildland firefighting, I kind of always make the joke that a lot of people have an amazing story about, parents that did it. They saw a fireman take a cat out of a tree or something. Mine isn't that. Quite simply, I was an inmate firefighter. It was the classic gateway drug, start with marijuana, have some red wine, and it just catapulted into a drug world. I actually didn't ever go or get in trouble for drugs. I got in trouble for the things that came with that scene. It's the classic drug addict thing to do. I got into moving money around, wiring money, check fraud, credit card fraud, and that's it. That's what I went to prison for, was just fraud. 18 years old was when I got the case. I'd be gone by 19. It's just one of those situations where kids with nothing to do. No, in fact, even my group of friends that we all kind of went down this path, no one really had this evil story. We all just grew up in a pretty nice neighborhood, skateboarded, and just started to dabble a little too hard. I went to prison, and a counselor that everyone has to go and see asked me, do I know what fire camp is? And I said, I don't. He said, would you like a soda, a steak, and ice cream every time you come back to work late from a fire? And I said, yes. And then I signed on the paper, and the rest is history. I very distinctly remember leaving Northern California on a fire, driving through whatever town, NorCal, and there were people holding signs, which now I see it all the time, but I had never seen that. And I had a window seat, which is seniority on the inmate buggy. And I remember a little girl and her family had, thank you firefighters, super basic sign. And that stuck with me to this day. And I felt yeah, I'm a fireman. Whoa, this is cool. And that was for a young 23, 24-year-old brain that really hadn't done anything. That was big. Why did I stay? It's them. It really is. The fire. We go to a million of those. It's a good time. It's hard work, but it's all the guys and the girls out there. You just either fall in love with the madness of wildland firefighting or you don't. I watched somebody get married a week ago, but I've also stood with men during their divorce, during the loss of kids, really bad times, the worst times of some people's day of their life. That's big. And all of those things together is this brotherhood, this sisterhood. And it's kind of a beautiful, chaotic disaster. I can't imagine a day where I don't lace them up and come out here with them. It fires me up to just think about it right now, of all the stuff that we go through. It's a physical job. The discipline to stay fit is in itself a lifetime goal. The rule of thumb is if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated, right? So I have the standard half gallon to a gallon every day in normal life. And then when we get out there, we're taking in obviously exponentially more, but also with getting more salt, more electrolytes, more sugar. It's just a year-round process for me. I'm always semi-hydrated and always concentrating on nutrition. Fire Salt has the electrolytes. It just has the products and the electrolytes we need, or anyone that does any sort of physical job that's sweating and in the heat, that we need over other popular companies. Me personally, they're in my pack. So either if I feel like I'm gonna go down, or if someone else is going down, or we're taking a break or whatever, I can grab their Nalgene, they can grab their Nalgene, we can mix it in and they can get that quick fix. But Fire Science just has the electrolyte levels that we need. So Zach, 17, 18, was a wild kid driving a Toyota Echo. His primary goal was to do drugs and to party. Incredibly selfish and wanted to run around with the big boys and didn't think an hour ahead of his life, and woke up many days with $0 in his pocket and had to just make something happen. Zach at 40 wants to be in bed by 7:50 every night. I'm concerned about my daily supplement pills. I don't want to take too much fish oil. I'm concerned primarily with what I put in my body for the most part. I'm concerned with the things that I'm taking in as far as education and reading, and studying, and I try to be slightly less shitty and a little bit better every week.